Hey everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time for our level 58 Summoner quest. A quest I have been very excited to play on this file. Especially with all that I've learned about this game since, and some of the content I didn't originally do on my main until well after doing this quest. This will all make a lot more sense once we do it. Minion for today is the Wind-Up Warrior of Light. And let's see. Right, changes in patch 7.3. Let's see, so Summon Ifrit, Summon Titan, and Summon Garuda all have a particular effect when they're summoned. Let me just double check out my notes correct. Yes. So, I'm going to read Inferno effect here for Summon Ifrit, and it's similar for the others. Rushes forward and deals fire damage to all enemies at a 5 Yalm cone before it with a potency of 600 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. With Summon Titan, within 5 Yalms with a potency of 600 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. And then same for Garuda, 600 potency for the first enemy, 50% less for all remaining enemies. This is what we call a cleave attack. It is technically a single target attack, but there is incidental splash damage or cleave damage that hits any nearby enemies. The damage that hits nearby enemies will be less than the damage that hits the main target, but they will still receive damage. These cleave abilities all got a major change. Well, they got a specific significant change in patch 7.3. Before 7.3, the reduction in damage was 60%. Now it is only 50%. So in other words, the AoE portion of the damage from Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda summons is 10% stronger than it was before. Or 10 percentage points stronger than it was before. I haven't received one of these in so damn long. No. Decline. Anyways. But yeah. No, the AoE portion, the cleave portion of the damage on Summon Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda got about 10 percentage points stronger. Very nice change, suddenly makes you a bit more powerful during AoE pulls. Very nice. Alright, Dancing Wolf, let's get started. Dancing Wolf seems impatient to confront your elusive enemy. We are getting Dreadworm Trance and Ether Charge Mastery. Satori, if you've come for word on the Ascian, I fear I have little progress to report. We did, however, hold the service for Kaiden. I assembled the soldiers from his old unit, and together we conveyed his remains to the Priest of Thal. As for Thanalin's trade routes, there are still the odd raid by bandits or beastmen, but none that involves men in black robes. I must confess, I am at a loss as to how we might track our foe. Have you spoken with Ymitra? I believe she had new findings to share with you. Alright, let's head on to Gridania, meet with Ymitra, and see what she has learned. If we don't have any leads on the Ascian, we can at the very least become stronger so that we are more ready to fight when the time comes. Hello there, Ymitra! I heard you had news for me. Satora, there you are. We have much to discuss. I've been engrossed in my studies, you see, seeking every advantage for an inevitable clash with the Ascian. And as I struggled to unravel the ancient knowledge of the tomestones, I unlocked a good many mysteries, including the reason why you were unable to call forth Ramu Egi. When you summon an avatar, you draw upon your body's reservoir of ether to grant life and form to what is known as an arcane entity. That much we already knew. I had, however, overlooked the simple fact that our etheric reserves are finite. Thus, the magnitude of Egi that you're able to summon is limited by the extent of your own life force. Simply put, if the Egi is too powerful, then the summoning fails. But do not despair, the summoners of Allag devised a method by which one might circumvent this intrinsic limitation. Rather than attempt to summon a separate physical manifestation of certain Egi, the most accomplished mages discovered that far less ether was required to infuse themselves with the essence of a primal's power. The technique by which a summoner would achieve this heightened state was known as a trance. Oh my god. I had not played Final Fantasy IX when I originally played this game. I'm feeling like that's a deliberate connection they're making here. Okay, that's fun. I didn't even realize that. What say you, Satora? Shall we see if you can master this method? It may even allow you to contend with a paragon, but not if the essence is of an ordinary primal. Nay, we must set our sights on the most potent entity, the most fierce. I speak of the elder primal Bahamut. On the day of the calamity, the dragon vanished in an explosion so massive that his ether was carried to the far corners of Eorzea. You, among many others, have already been touched by his essence. In fact, you've already fought and killed him, so you've definitely been touched by his essence. All that remains is to perform the meditative ritual in a place steeped in Bahamut's energies, and you should be able to enter the trance of the Dreadworm. As for setting foot within the only suitable location, I believe Captain Wolf can assist us. Shall we pay him a visit? Alright then, back to the Hall of Flames. But yeah, I'm excited about this because we've actually fought Bahamut, so we no longer need that excuse of, oh yeah, everyone was touched by him during the Calamity. So it is really fun to have that clear on turn 13. I'm so glad we got it before getting here. As I anticipated, the good captain here has agreed to help us enter the only truly suitable ritual location. Ymitra here is certainly not one to do things by half. She petitioned me to help gain entry to the ether-soaked wasteland of the Cartano Flats. The Flats are disputed territory jointly administered by the 3 member nations of the Eorzean Alliance, and attempting their full admittance to the area is a bureaucratic nightmare. As matters stand, I was only able to secure permission to visit the Immortal Flames airship landing. If we wish to enter the Flats proper, we will have to do so under the cover of night. Prepare yourself for a tense journey, then make your way to the landing here in Ul'dah. I have one of our elite flyers standing by. So we're going there basically illegally. Also, I absolutely love that they found a way to use a PvP map for a job quest. Alright, here we are. Ymitra, Dancing Wolf, you ready? Mastery of this trance will greatly increase your chances of standing against the Paragon. Pray inform the elite flyer that we are ready to depart for Cartano. If they catch us creeping into the flats, the general will have my head on a platter. But I must have vengeance for my soldiers. I'm surprised you are willing to go that far for us. I'll fly you to the front door of the flats, but that's as far as you're authorized to go. Stay on the landing or face the consequences. Alright, I will definitely do this. So this is what became of the Cartano Flats. Never before have I sensed such tainted ether. Let us not linger long, Satora. Turn your mind now into Bahamut's terrible majesty. Allow his power to seep into your very being. Nothing? We may need to deepen your meditations. Do you truly attempt to harness the might of Bahamut? The essence of the Elder Primal shall tear your mortal frame asunder! Chaos rises in the presence of power, but you, bringer of light, can be allowed to shine no brighter. Come and be doused in the endless waters of the 12th chalice. And he's appeared. Bahamut's power shall never be yours. You die here, mortals. False teeth, we needed more time. You must not abandon the ritual. Use Bahamut's residual energies to unlock the trance. I'll do what I can. You would play with fire, then perish in infernal flames. Oh, you've summoned Ifrit, Eggy. Alright, Ifrit versus Ifrit, who will win? But yeah, he must be terrified of us getting Bahamut's power if he's coming to stop us like this. There we go. Our senses heighten, allowing us to see Bahamut's ether trails. Satora, quest with your senses. There will be pockets of lingering ether. Find the densest concentrations. Focus. Will yourself one with Bahamut's essence. I will cut you down with blades of wind. Garuda then. No, you don't. How dare you knock me back? And once more. Satora, concentrate! Enfold your mind in Bahamut's wings. Trying to attune, not attack. You are persistent, bringer of light. I will bury you in stone. Alright, hello there, Titan Eggy. For the love of Thal. Satora, might you meditate a little faster? I am doing what I can. Alright, and there's the third one. It's working, Satora. Find another pocket of ether. You still do not understand. The waters of the 12th chalice are endless. Leviathan next. Or all three at once. Okay, no Leviathan Eggy. Got it. Did he summon 3 Eggy at once? I should have brought reinforcements. Continue seeking the ether. Without the trance, we cannot prevail. Oh, thankfully, these are significantly weaker Eggy. I think he stretched himself too thin. Far too thin. There it is. Right behind him. Oh, crap. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Alright, Surecast, protect me. It's not going to last long enough. Actually, it lasted exactly long enough. Okay, where's the next one? Here we go. I am a little sad they don't bring in Leviathan, Ramu, and Shiva Eggy for this. I am very sad they didn't do that. Oh well. Okay, here we go. Should be the last one. Right there. Alright, and we get Dreadworm Trance. What just happened? No, the might of the Dreadworm. It is done! The trance is yours! Now sweep aside these lesser avatars. For this fight, Dreadworm Trance is simply a passive buff that we are being given. It'll be an actual action to replace Ether Charge once we are out of this duty. Or once we finish the quest, rather. I did not anticipate this. You should not have been able to complete the meditations under such duress. But I shall not underestimate you again. Our next meeting shall be our last, bringer of light. We did it. We faced a paragon and lived. And it's all thanks to you, Satora. You and the towering might of Bahamut that you now command. Aye, despite the Ascian's interference, we achieved what we came here for. But I'm afraid this is not the place to celebrate. Let us return to the landing before the Dawn's Light finds us in a forbidden territory. Alright, we made it back safely. I cannot wait to go over Dreadworm Trance. Though I don't think it's actually going to have much of an effect for now. I forget exactly how the upgrade path works. We might be high enough level that we can skip right to where it starts to get really interesting, but we'll see. We'll go over it once we unlock it. Alright, Dancing Wolf, Yumitra, good to see you both made it back. That Paragon did not come across us by chance. We are being watched. Yeah, not too surprising. We have reason to rejoice, my friends. It would seem our clandestine adventure went unnoticed by my superiors. And more importantly, we seized the upper hand in a battle against an Ascian. The Tranced did appear most effective against our immortal foe. For such a hurried night's work, we managed to reap quite a harvest indeed. Aye, but it is a pity that the bastard fled when he did. I would have liked to have settled the score then and there. 'Twas for the best, Captain Wolf. If we would truly defeat the Ascian, then we must be prepared to destroy him utterly, body and soul. Alright. Ether Charge Mastery upgrades Ether Charge to Dreadworm Trance, and we'll go over Dreadworm Trance in a minute. Trance Gauge expanded! Upon learning the trait Ether Charge Mastery, the Trance Gauge will indicate the remaining time for the effects of Dreadworm Trance. While under its effects, Ruin 3 is upgraded to Astral Impulse, and Outburst is upgraded to Astral Flare. Dreadworm Trance also grants Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum. Each summon, when called forth, will tap into its respective Arcanum, granting use acts of an Elemental Attunement, indicated on the Trance Gauge. These Elemental Attunements will augment Gemshine and Precious Brilliance. So in other words, it's... the only real change is now the gauge... is now, while we are waiting for the summons to become available, our Ruin 3 is upgraded, and our Outburst is also upgraded. So let's go over the details. Dreadworm Trance enters Dreadworm Trance for 15 seconds, changes Ruin 3 to Astral Impulse and Outburst to Astral Flare, grants the Arcanums as Ether Charge did, can only be executed in combat and while Carbuncle is summoned. So yeah, just an upgrade to Ether Charge. The main thing is during the 15 seconds we're waiting for the Arcanums to become available, we get 15 seconds of upgrades for Ruin 3 and Outburst. Don't want to go that far down. Astral Impulse. Instant cast GCD, unaspected damage with a potency of 440. And Astral Flare, unaspected damage with a potency of 180. Again, instant cast. So let's compare those. So obviously, major upgrade, instant cast, very nice. Let's compare the potencies. 440 versus what's Ruin 3? 300. So a nearly 50% increase in our damage for 15 seconds. Astral Flare 180 versus Outburst is 100. An 80% upgrade to our damage in AoE. Very, very nice. 15 seconds of instant cast, 50 to 80% damage increase. Very nice. So yeah, that is our upgrades. Before we finish off for today, we might as well go show it off against a training dummy. And yeah, even though we're just here for training, I'll put on the coat. It genuinely bothers me to see her in such skin-exposing clothing in such cold weather. It genuinely bothers me. Alright, Striking Dummy. We're gonna hit Dreadworm Trance right away. And now we got Astral Impulse. 15 seconds of this nice upgraded instant cast, much more powerful ability, or Astral Flare, same thing but for AoE. And then we get our summons, and the summons work as normal. So yeah, that is the upgrade to Summoner. Really, really nice. I'm so glad we got it. Summoner will get a lot more interesting though in later expansions as they start to expand upon Dreadworm Trance. Oh, no, not focus. Reset, and reset. Alright, well, you keep fighting, I guess, Juniper. But yeah, Summoner, I really, really like how Summoner plays nowadays. I didn't play it for long enough back in Shadowbringers, the time I was playing Shadowbringers. The time I was playing when Shadowbringers was the current expansion. I didn't play it enough to really get a feel for how it played. I remember it being like really, really complicated and confusing, but I didn't get much chance to play with it at the time. But I really like the structure of Summoner as it is now. And I am hopeful that they can take the current structure and make it very flexible. There is a possibility, I would love to see at some point, them add a system where you can swap out which summons you have active. So you can maybe replace Ifrit with Ramuh, maybe once you get strong enough that you can learn Ramuh safely. Or maybe a trance for Ramuh. I think it would be really cool if someday they would allow you to like kind of customize your summoner, customize which summons you have active on your hotbar. I don't think this will ever happen. I do not believe it'll ever happen, but I think the way Summoner is set up right now is very, very, has a lot of potential if they do decide to go a route like that. I think it's a good structure as is. I think they can expand on it a lot. I really like how it is now, and I think people are always way too negative about this game. It has issues. I agree it has issues. I agree Summoner definitely needs a little bit more work, but I think the foundation it has right now is where it needs to be, and it is basically perfect. But I think this should be treated as a foundation that they can build on, not something to be thrown out and replaced just because people aren't entirely happy with how it plays at level 100. Anyways, rambles for another time. I will see everyone next time for, I believe it is time for the Rising 2025. Next week, we're going to start with a batch of main story as we make our way towards a particular location that's coming up soon. And then the end of next week, we will get started on our level 58 crafting and gathering quest, starting of course with mining and botany. I will see everyone next time for all that.